I want to go straight to the police chief and what his thoughts were. I wanted to go to the original press conference because I didn't just want to see it just in a vacuum. I wanted to get more insight. So maybe we can scrub through this a little bit and we can get some more insight on what his thoughts are.
With this individual who had been shot at 11:25 a.m., CPD units are holding down the scene where the offending vehicle was located. And when I say the offending vehicle, we're talking about the vehicle that smashed into the Border Patrol vehicle. At 11:36 a.m., the scene is then turned over to federal authorities for their investigation after CPD was clear that there was a shooting that involved this particular person who was at the hospital. At 12:12 p.m., in a separate incident, and I believe people have been conflating these two things, in a separate incident from the shooting, there are no documented injuries from that incident. To a large group of protesters began moving barricades, and federal agents deployed tear gas. At 2:56 p.m., objects are being thrown at CPD by members of the public. Federal agents, again, deployed gas to leave the area. So let me just kind of break down what happened there, because at 3:48, everything was all clear. When our officers arrived on scene, they met with the federal agents who were out there. The federal agents had deployed chemical agents. They deployed chemical agents while our officers were there. Those who will tell you that our officers weren't there, say that to the 27 officers who were affected by the chemical agents that were deployed by federal agents. There were 27 reports done to document our officers who were affected by that gas. I've since had a conversation with federal agents, and on that particular day, I spoke with the leadership of the federal agency. We talked about things as to how we were going to work this out. You see, communication is the key here. Communication does not mean collaboration. This had nothing to do with immigration enforcement. What it had.
I spoke with the leadership and I asked them how we're going to work things out. Communication is important. Communication does not mean collaboration. Am I missing something? I know I'm slow. I know I'm a C student. I asked their leadership, the federal agents' leadership, how we're going to work things out. Communication is important. Communication doesn't necessarily translate into or doesn't mean collaboration. Am I missing something here? Am I missing something? You guys don't have any choice but to collaborate and to communicate. You know why? Because everything that you're doing is integrated. It's your city. And so if somebody does something that they're not supposed to do, you have to respond to it because you are the Chicago police.
To do with a scene where someone in our city was shot, and we as CPD are responsible for showing up, documenting that, even when the shooting and the investigation has been taken over by the FBI.
I don't care what his title is. I'm listening to him speak on behalf of the Chicago police and the city of Chicago.
We stayed out there for the crime scene to make sure that evidence was preserved, because if that evidence isn't preserved, a proper
investigation
and a well-performed investigation cannot be done if we don't preserve the crime scene. If we allow people to breach that area and contaminate the crime scene, it hurts the investigation. We have a duty to do so. So I need to be clear about a few things. When a crime is being committed, CPD is going to show up. And it doesn't matter if there are ICE agents there. We have a duty to investigate and protect our city. Now, there are a lot of talking heads out there. There are a lot of politics being used here. And people are using this for their political talking points.
I wonder who he's talking about. Let's hear more.
Well, my officers are not political pawns. My leadership team, not political pawns. Their lives are too important to play politics with these men and women who face danger every single day. This is not a game. This is not a joke. This is still our city. And we still have a responsibility to maintain safety and calm in our city.
Is he talking about Brandon Johnson saying that we don't play politics and we don't want to play politics? I bet you it's some real arguments that's happening in that office.
Now, there are a couple of things that I want to address. One,
I'm just guessing.
what we have to deal with as a department. Because I want to be clear to those who have never done the job, who haven't done the job in years, who weren't on scene, who don't know the facts or have the facts. But they've got a lot of solutions or a lot of ideas of what happened or what should have happened. Let me first talk about the Trust Act. The Trust Act prohibits law enforcement in the state of Illinois from engaging in assisting federal agents when it comes to immigration enforcement.
Is that the most recent thing that they implemented, the Trust Act? Is that what Brandon Johnson and J.B. Pritzker was touting and championing? The fact that they have ordered the police department to stand down when it comes to assisting ICE, Homeland Security, federal officers, federal troops, so on and so forth. Is that what that is?
We abide by that law. The city ordinance, the Welcoming City ordinance, goes a little further. It even prohibits us from asking someone their status. We abide by that ordinance because in law enforcement, we don't make the laws, we uphold them. And we're sworn to do so. And we take our oath seriously. Engaging with federal agents, we do it on a regular basis. We have task force officers who are out there every single day working to stop human trafficking, drug enforcement, gun violence, gun recoveries, search warrants, and everything in between when it comes to violent crime in our city. We have a great partnership with our federal agents, and we still do, and we will continue to work with them around violent crime. But let me explain how important it is to understand how difficult it is for our officers at times. Because when we look at the Trust Act and the Welcoming City Ordinance, sometimes there's a struggle when you're walking that line to make sure that you're not violating either one of those things, and at the same time enforcing the law the way that we're supposed to. One thing about law enforcement, I'll tell you this right now, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. And we accept that. So I'm not going to stand here and make excuses.
Sound like I don't want to be a law enforcement officer.
Or pretend like the job is not a struggle, so we're going to make excuses about it. No, we're not going to do that. Again, these men and women go out there every single day, and these are the things that they fight through.
I don't even know why anybody would want to be a police chief.
Wants to make sure that our officers don't get caught up in something where they end up in an investigation, fairly or unfairly, and they want to make sure that these officers are safe and that they can keep everyone else safe. So although we do not engage in immigration enforcement, we are going to enforce the law when the laws are violated. So let me be clear to the public about certain things. You have to excuse me, I'm a little dehydrated. Let me make this clear. Federal agents, ICE, HSI, are officers. They're agents of law enforcement. If you box them in with vehicles, it is reasonable for them to believe that they are being ambushed.
Facts.
And that this could end in a deadly situation.
Agreed.
And it's reasonable for them to use force based on those conditions. Do not box in any law enforcement officer. You are breaking the law when you do that. And you are putting yourself in danger. Following law enforcement agents around. The question is why? What do you plan on doing? It's also reasonable for them to believe that you're eventually going to do harm to them.
Yep.
If you ram
Mess around and find out if you want to.
any vehicle, especially that one that contains law enforcement agents, and that's any law enforcement, local, state, federal, county, and you do this intentionally, this is considered deadly force. Deadly force is anything
and take your
that
life.
can cause great bodily harm or death. When you plow into a vehicle that contains law enforcement agents, you're using deadly force. And they can use deadly force in response to stop you.
Y'all said Show Johnson speaks from this morning. What did he say this morning? I'll see if I can find it.
We need to be clear about these laws. We cannot become a society where we just decide to take everything in our own hands and start to commit crimes against law enforcement. It is a crime. You may not like what they're doing. I can understand that there's a lot of emotions out there, but that does not mean that you get to commit a crime, especially one that could lead to deadly force. We need to keep everyone safe. Our responsibilities when it comes to federal agents, and I've been asked these questions, we do not interfere with the duties and responsibilities of federal agents. We don't have to agree with it. It doesn't matter. You don't have to agree with it. We do not interfere with their orders. And when they go out to carry out their orders, they will do that the way that they're trained to do it and their understanding of what it is they have to do. Another one, CPD will not arrest and cannot arrest federal agents because someone deems what they're doing is illegal or unlawful. Their rules of engagement are different from CPD and other local law enforcement agents. We need to be clear about this. If we're not clear about this, we will see another event like we saw Saturday. We cannot move like this.
Was necessary.
I don't like these. I like to get listen to them afterwards because they always like have it all on one side. What's up, Molly? They always usually have the audio only playing in one speaker or whatever, but we'll see if it's anything to mine out of this.
Necessary to reassure people that we are following the local ordinance. At every single tool that's available to me, we can maximize the protection of all Chicagoans. Violence prevention, but he cut the ATF budget by 30%. In his administration that has any sense, we'll take one. And so this is why I'm in constant communications with my superintendent, because that's how leadership works. You communicate with people. You come up with policies. You hold people accountable. This president is unchecked. Our framers of this Constitution literally put forth measures so that you can always have check and balance to a president. And so, I think the lessons here are being learned every single day, is that if Congress is not going to hold the President of the United States of America accountable.
Thank you, Big Fred.
Then I will.
Wait a minute. I wasn't expecting that. Hold on. Let me play that one more time. Give me a second.
If Congress is not going to hold the President of the United States of America accountable, then I will.
I can't believe what I'm watching. What am I watching? What the heck am I watching, bro? What am I watching? Huh? What am I watching, bro? Who does this guy think he is? Is he trying to make a name for himself? Who are you, Batman? Are you Robin? Are you Superman? What is wrong with him? Do he? No. Honestly, we gotta ask ourselves a question. We gotta have a conversation, guys. Does Brandon Johnson genuinely think he him? Like, do he believe that? I'm with it, bro. I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm 100. I like it. I love it. I mean, I know y'all want me to take the other position. Let me just play this one more time because I'm not sure that I heard what I heard. I gotta confirm it, right? God always said that you'll get a witness.
Is that if Congress is not going to hold the President of the United States of America accountable, then I will.
I didn't know I was going to end up on that point. Why y'all keep doing this to me, man? What kind of joke is this? What kind of joke is this? What is wrong with him? What is wrong with him? Is he crazy? All right, listen, we going to bust this whole speech down when I'm able to get the audio in both ears. So we going to work on that. I'm going to do a whole review video of this maybe today for the Anton Daniels channel, and then we'll go through it and deep dive into it tomorrow. I'm telling you, bro, Democrats are crazy. They are crazy in real life. They are straight up crazy. Honest to God, they crazy. I can't believe what I'm hearing. Is he out of his mind? What are we doing, y'all?